Shabbat Shalom, folks. To our folks who are praying with us from a distance, we welcome you as well. Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to encourage our folks who are here in the Beit Midrash to go ahead and grab a seat. Let us express our gratitude for being here with one another. It's a cold and rainy night in California. For those of you who are praying with us from a distance, you're probably thinking to yourselves, I don't know, I'm in Minnesota. It feels like it's actually a cold and rainy night. This is California. We get freaked out when it's 50 degrees and a little drizzle. But whether you are praying in a sunny and warm place, or you're a part of the sun and warmth we are creating right here with one another, let us express our gratitude the way the psalmist did for the gift of one another. The words are found at the top of page 10. Hine matov umanaim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 I want to hear you guys sing it. Let's hear your voice. Shevet achim gam yachad.
This is like my absolute favorite, to stand here surrounded by these incredible musicians and to make the music that it wakes me up again. And so I think that when we come in, I can tell you that my week, my personal week, was hectic and crazy, and I am so happy to be here in this moment now, to just have a moment for myself, to breathe, to recognize that what happened in the past week happened, and it's not going to have it's not going to have happened, but we can recognize that we're in this moment, and we can look ahead to what's next in the week to come. So let's just take a moment. I'd love, if you feel comfortable, if you don't, that's okay. If you feel comfortable, to just close your eyes. Focus in on your breath, pulling you into this moment right here, right now. Recognizing the power of that breath. Power of that breath that got us here today, that gives us strength every single day, allows us to wake up every morning. We underestimate the importance and the power of that breath. If we can take just a few moments every day to just close our eyes and breathe. Remind yourself that even though Shabbat is only once a week, really, you can bring Shabbat into your life every day. Take a few more breaths. We'll join together on page 344 in your prayer books with Shir Chadash. Let us sing a new song as we enter this new Shabbat.
Shiru
Adonai kol haaretz Adonai Shir Chadash Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash.
Let's hear you sing it.
Shiru Adonai.
Yeah, give it to us.
Let's go. Nancy, I love that. Adonai Shir Chadash.
You have a special supplemental page just for this one Friday night. And if you look down in the bottom, I believe left-hand corner, you will find the words for our next Kabbalat Shabbat Psalm for L'chun Ranana. Let us sing out to our sheltering rock, to all that sustains us and gives us strength. Let us sing with gratitude for that gift. L'chun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, L'Adonai, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Naharia, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Litzur Yishenu, Yai Lai 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 Lai. Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. L'chun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, L'Adonai, Yai Lai Lai, Naharia, Naharia, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Litzur Yishenu, Yai Lai 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 Lai, for all of the wonder and all of God's light, we rejoice. So now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. L'chun Ranana, Yai Lai 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 Lai, Adonai, Sabbath, the bride. In its beauty, in its hope, in all the potential that Shabbat represents for us. I wrote this morning to all of you about how Shabbat, well, if we create that kind of Shabbat where we become like Jacob on the ladder, this week's Torah portion, doing the ascending during this day of rest and renewal so that when we step down from it and enter back into the world of work, the world of mess, the world of turmoil, the world of creation. As great as Shabbat is, it's supposed to be the time when we cease from all the creating. So we need that other world. I hate that metaphor of Kodesh and Chol, that Shabbat is supposed to be the holiness, and that Chol is sometimes defined as the profane, the sacred and the profane. No. Yes, though, the holy, distinct Shabbat day, and Chol, the routine. That is to say, the rest of the week, that time that we fill up with our being like God in the perfect world, we become partners in creation during that working week. We step down from the ladder and we make the world a little bit more like it was as we saw when we were high up. This is for going high and experiencing that cosmic wedding that Shabbat represents between our God and our people. The words of Kabbalat Shabbat's L'chadodi can be found on page 20 and 21. We'll sing the first and second verses on page 20, and then the top and bottom verses on page 21. L'chadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
L'chadodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela.
שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נצוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Top of 21. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומאורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. If you're able, I invite you to stand at this time and face the entrance into our sanctuary, and in your soul's eye, welcome the Sabbath bride. Glenn Gottlieb just entered the sanctuary. For those of you at home, he is not the Sabbath bride, but maybe he brought her in. Bohi b'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei am segula, Bohi chala, Bohi chala. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. We're on page 28. Baruch Adonai Amorah Leolam Ba'ed Leolam Ba'ed Yalla lai 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 Yalla lai lai lai. You'll turn ahead to page 31. We're at that season of the year where it becomes really, really intensely obvious to us, the rotating of day into night, light into darkness, just because the darkness shows up so much earlier. You're like, wait a minute, is it possible the day is actually already over? Starts showing up around, I don't know, I was sitting at my desk, and I was using the daylight to kind of fill the space, and it was around 3 in the afternoon, and I realized it's getting dark in here. I have to go turn on a light, but I was like, oh, is it time for Shabbat? Am I late? And I looked at my watch, not close to Shabbat. Just dark. So it's the time of year where we really, I think, are intensely aware of the gift of light, because anything that becomes a little rarer in our life becomes something that we cleave to just a little bit more. And so let us give thanks for our noticing this rotation so that we can savor all the gifts that both light and darkness bring to us. The words on the bottom of page 31, please join reading them with me. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. On page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. I am here, I am now, asking when, asking how, only I, only thou, only one.
Fill my heart, still my soul. I am part of this whole. I will sing out my soul to the one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Ba'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. So as we approach the Michamocha, I like to think of each Shabbat as a new opportunity, a new moment to try to do something new, to maybe cease something that maybe you, I don't know, put your cell phones away or go on a walk or things that maybe you wouldn't do on a normal day. And I found this poem written by Alden Solovey, who's a very well-known poet, especially in the Reform movement. And he entitled, its title is New Adventures. Every new adventure begins at the end of a trail, seen or unseen, physical, spiritual, the place where going on makes no more sense, the place where one more step would be a betrayal of every lesson learned along the way. Every new adventure begins with the choice to enter the unknown, to explore the wild and majestic, the sacred and the mundane,
to invite new moments of victory and challenge into our days, to invite struggle and triumph to walk beside us. Every new adventure begins with faith in the journey, discovering the faith within us, finding faith in the daily blessings that surround us, guide us, carry us to new vistas, new horizons, new landscapes, wonders beyond imagination. I can only imagine that that is what I would have felt if I was standing at the edge of the sea during Mi Chamocha, this new beginning, this idea that this new adventure will begin at the end of a very hard and treacherous trail that the Israelites had been on. We'll join together with that in mind, Mi Chamocha. Page 40, thank you.
Like the 40 days and nights. Like the 40 years in the wilderness.
Was that a coincidence?
Page
I
40.
don't know.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Mi
chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osei peleh. Nora tehilot osei peleh. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Yalla la.
יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai 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 la la la. Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
If you'll turn back to the supplemental page, bottom right-hand corner. Our prayer for the night. Cause us to lie down in this darkness, find the sweetness of rest, and return in the morning to light and to life.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amidenu Malkeinu L'chaim Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right.
If you'll turn to page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם.
ושמרו.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת ויהי נפש. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם, ברית עולם.
you'll turn to page 46. And if you're able, please rise for the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Luishenei afar. Mi chamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom, Yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
The Amidah continues in silence through page 62. It's also a time, of course, to turn away from the books and to turn deeply within as we spend this time in quiet prayer. You may be seated whenever you're ready. One of the good challenges about our Amidah is that it always ends with Birkat Shalom, with a prayer for peace. The reason I call it a good challenge is because it can be very deflating to return to our prayer for peace again and again and again in a world that is so lacking for peace. And so it's a good challenge. Can we renew that prayer and renew ourselves in the reaching for peace, in the trusting that it can be made real? The words we're about to sing, which can be found on the supplemental page at the top, were written by someone who knew a thing or two about the struggles for peace. He was, back in the early 1970s, the commander of the Israeli Air Force. And he wrote these words in Hebrew that we're about to sing, and which you can find around our cantor's neck. The talit that she's wearing has these very Hebrew words. Et hamangina hazot efshar lahafsik. The words mean this melody cannot be allowed to end, cannot cease. When we think of the setting in which he first spoke those words, I spoke about this a couple weeks ago when we first sang this song. It was composed for Cantor Sarah's installation service. The story goes that when these words were first spoken by the Israeli Air Force commander, it was at a time of celebration. A bunch of captives from the Air Force had been returned to Israel from Syria. And of course, still heavy in their hearts were all those who had been lost during the Yom Kippur War. And so it was this incredible melding of gratitude, triumph, mourning, the pain and the power of loss. All of it in this moment of inspiration. Et hamangina hazot efshar lahafsik. This melody that we live, this melody that yearns for a better tomorrow, this melody cannot be allowed to cease. Mukhrachim lahamshich linagen. We must continue to play it, for this melody cannot cease. Our prayers for peace are that melody.
את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר
Try it with us.
להפסיק.
Et hamangina.
את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. Lift your voice to the heavens, let it join in a holy refrain. And the sound born between us will arise and forever remain. Et המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. Within every spirit, there's a hum that longs to take flight. Made of truth and of memory, it will lead us back into the light. Et המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אפשר להפסיק. In the face of injustice, when the soul must have something to say, this will be our resistance. The song will continue to play. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את
This melody
הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק. את המנגינה הזאת אי אפשר להפסיק.
So yes, it is that famous week in the Torah, Jacob and his ladder. Even the folks who consider themselves not religious, don't know anything about the Torah, they all know about Jacob's ladder. Why? Because it's really one of the great inspiring images, right, in all of Jewish tradition, this idea that he finds himself in the midst of this extraordinary wandering. He's feeling very alone. He's out in the wilderness. He is neither at the point of departure nor the point of arrival. And he lies down to get some rest because he can't make the journey all in one day. And of course, if we were out camping like that, but without a tent, without any of the goods, you'd have to try to find something you can make into a pillow. And he finds a stone. He lies down. Can you believe this poor schlepper? He's lying down on the ground, and he's got no blanket, no nothing, just a stone. And what does he say about this place that he arrives? He says, "Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, v'anochi lo yadati." He says, "Achen yesh Adonai." God is somehow in this place that I've arrived. God is here, and I did not know. He finds that this is a place of holiness, a place of profundity, a place of deep spiritual connection. It's not the words that you'd expect to come out of the mouth of someone who's arrived at such a place, at such a moment in their life, filled with uncertainty and doubt. Will I make it? Will I be safe? Will I get injured along the way? Will I be protected from the elements? Plenty of good reason to say any number of other things that are not appropriate for this service when he was to lie down to sleep. But no, he arrives at this spot and he says, "Achen yesh Adonai." God is here. I didn't even know it. That is the experience of praying Mishaberach each and every Shabbat. We arrive at this place of uncertainty, not certain whether or not we'll make it from here to there, wondering whether or not we'll be protected from the elements, wondering whether or not there will be safety and health, protection from injury, both without and within. All of this wondering about what lies ahead. The prayer calls upon us to say, "Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh." In the midst of all of that wonderment, confusion, disorientation, there is still this sense of holiness, of divinity, of possibility, of hope, and of healing. We're going to join together in singing Mishaberach, our prayer for healing, in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to invite anyone who would wish to speak aloud the name of someone in your personal circle. Could be you, could be a family member, could be a really cherished friend, could be a fellow member of this congregation, could be a co-worker, someone who is out there like Jacob tonight, maybe having to lay down on the rock, out exposed to the elements, concerned about whether or not they'll ever get there. We want to be able to bring to them that measure of blessing, Achen yesh Adonai. There is still God. There is still hope. There is still strength. If you wish to speak those names, I'll make eye contact with you, and when I do so, please speak those names so we can include those folks who you'll name along with those who we'll name in our hearts.
Weintraub.
My niece, Mama Pellet, my brother-in-law, Ariel Pellet, Karen Wagner, and Judy Weissman. Lauren Salt.
For all of them, for all of us, Misha Berach can be found in the middle of page 253. 253.
Misheberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Aleinu can be found at the bottom of page 282. If you're able, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Some words to help us prepare for the recitation of Kaddish, words that can be found on page 292. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction, he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher when it sends us back to serve and bless the living. We learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they're gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wished to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. As we prepare to recite the Kaddish prayer this evening, we remember especially our longtime congregant, Stephen Feig, husband of Judith Feig, whom death has taken from us in recent days. And we link his name with Howard Axelrod, Gerald Blanton, Jesko Chermak, Robert L. Colgrove, Seymour Feshbach, Belvy Firstman, William Glickbarg, Eva Greenberg, James Henderson, David Eli Holomby, Alan Holtzman, Violet Kahn, Frank Klopfer, Delpha Lynx, John Lodge, Vivian Robbins, Eleanor Rosen, Elsa Stern, Sidney J. Weissman, Sylvia Roth Wildenstein, Werner Wolfen, Mel Rubel. Are there other names we should include? If so, please speak them aloud. We think of them all, along with all those who we name in our hearts and those who have perished as innocent victims of violence in that world we must continue to believe in, the world that we must continue to create, the world of peace. Holding them all close at heart, we say, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, the memory of the righteous is an everlasting blessing, as together we give thanks for the blessing of life with the words of Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 294. If you're able, please rise. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach gerutei ve'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'yisman kariv imru, amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru, amen. May the giver of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved among us, and let us together say, Amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru.
עושה שלום במרובה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו ואמרו, אמן. ואמרו, אמן.
I want to say thank you to Dave and to Dave. We got a lot of Dave in the house tonight. To Dave and to Dave and to Janice and to MD, our FNLO band. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Wasn't fun enough.